Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, everything's wet. Oh God. Just pretend you don't see this and let's get cracking. Today we are going to talk about an aesthetic that has frankly been around for as long as I can remember, as long as this archetype, this character's home base has been cool within the cultural zeitgeist. New York City has been cool forever. Today we are going to talk about somebody who really thrives in New York City, really thrives downtown. So sit back and relax, take a drink of water, try not to spill it on yourself, and we are going to get cozy and we are going to get very, very basic. Cozy and basic. Perfect descriptors for this channel. My name is Teresa, and this is the Downtown Girl aesthetic. Downtown Girl aesthetic revolves around the lifestyle, the romanticized lifestyle of living in the downtown area of New York City. I would say that this aesthetic probably reached its peak of popularity last year. The reason I'm talking about it is that I think it's a very evergreen lifestyle. It's also a very evergreen fantasy. As long as there are girls living in the suburbs, dreaming of moving to New York City, dreaming of making it to New York City, so long as there are movies romanticizing New York City, which I don't know if there's that much of anymore, because now a lot of movies are sequels, superhero movies, franchises. In the early 2000s and the 90s, definitely in the 80s, there was that whole genre of small town girl or guy moving to New York City, making it big in the city. It's a tale as old as time. It's basically up there with the Joseph Campbell hero's journey, the small town girl, suburban girl moving to New York City. We've all had this fantasy, or at least I would say like 80% of us had this fantasy, unless you were actually born in New York City. And then I don't know what you dream about. Off the top of my head, my generation's version of the downtown girl was Carrie Russell as Felicity. She applied to NYU because her high school crush Ben going to NYU, so she decided to follow him there. And there she indulges in the most cozy city fantasies where everything is just so collegiate and autumn. She has these big cozy cable knit sweaters. She would pair that with her boot cut jeans and her Converses. It's the vibe, it's the dream. It's the dream of getting out of your suburban town or small town and then moving to the city where you're going into the thick of the energy. You're either there for college or you're either there for like some kind of very fun sounding job. You work in publishing when publishing was a viable industry. You would work in advertising, PR for some independent jewelry company. In the early 2000s, there was this genre called chick lit. It's now either rom-com, romantic comedy mixed with women's fiction. Like in the early 2000s, Bridget Jones's Diary was very big. She basically had the same kind of lifestyle in London, but this whole girl in a big city exists as the basis, the building blocks of early 2000s chick lit. The aesthetics I'm seeing now trends a little younger because it's very popular with Gen Z. It's downtown girl. It's not downtown woman. Once you become a woman and you're living in New York City, your aspirations is to move uptown. You're the uptown woman. But right now, in your late teens, your early 20s, your college years, and beyond, you could stretch it out to 30 perhaps. Launching right now for millennials, for Gen Z, it's a little difficult, okay? You're an adult, but you're not an adult. And maybe you'll never be an adult. Maybe our society's obsession with being an adult at a certain age is just full of hot air. Right now, this is the fantasy. And I'm here for it because I definitely had this fantasy. Ever since I was a kid, I've just been fed all these movies set in New York City. You've Got Mail, which was set in autumn in New York City, and it is like the coziest thing. Meg Ryan is actually 1998's downtown girl, if you ask me. We have Felicity, Roaring 20s, writers in New York City, all comes together as a cauldron of romance for me. When I graduated from high school, I had it all planned out. Like my dream was to go to school in New York City. Like I applied to Columbia and I applied to NYU. I didn't get into Columbia. I got waitlisted for NYU, and I don't think anything ever became of the waitlist, but let's not talk about such disappointments. I was going to live out Felicity's cozy dream. I was gonna get my had big sweaters already. I was going to just look the part, right? Then 9/11 happened, and that kind of ruined everything for everybody. But I did eventually go to New York City for one day. It was in a bus tour. Not just any bus tour, it was in a Asian bus tour. Of course, I would have liked to visit New York City in a more glamorous way that is more in line with my fantasies. This was fine. This was fine. I mean, between going to all the tourist destinations like the Empire State Building and Times Square and eating a delicious lunch of McDonald's at Times Square, and then like driving by Central Park and not being able to enter because we were strapped for time, and then being given a ticket to the Met and being told I only had 1 hour to do the Met. I power walked the Met in 1 hour, and then it was time to go back to our hotel in Jersey. Day, guys, one day when this channel hit more subscribers than I have now, we can do a meetup in New York City. We can all go to a bookstore and read silently, individually and silently. So enough about me, tell me about you. Do you right now live in New York City? Or do you wish you could live in New York City? Tell me about how your life would be in New York City. I don't have a desire to live in New York City anymore because I'm too used to going to Costco, okay? I like going to Costco. I've been domesticated in that sense. I like buying in bulk, that big Kirkland toilet paper pack. You know what I'm talking about. And I like putting that in my trunk, taking it home with ease, because that would be very difficult to do if you lived in New York City. Just buying a big Costco pack of toilet paper would be an odyssey onto itself. But I do very much enjoy watching apartment therapy, apartment tours of these micro apartments of people trying to make 500 square feet, 300 square feet at like $2,000 a month work for them. So the Big Apple is very much in the back of my mind. And unfortunately, my wings have been clipped and I'm deep into the suburban life and the Costco memberships and buying toilet paper in bulk. And I love it. I love it. And now, having told you all that, let's revisit the original fantasy of living and breathing and existing romantically in New York City. This aesthetic is very simple. It's not very deep. Under it all, it's just basic clothes, guys. It's visually appealing, but like not as visually appealing as, say, clowncore. If somebody was going around dressed like a clown, that would be much more easy in the B-roll category. But without further ado, let us get into the character of the downtown girl, what she would wear, what she would be into. Let's talk about her counterpart, the uptown girl. Just a touch of dark academia in her. Her look is collegiate to me. There's also a bit of that model off-duty, because one of the defining characteristics of the downtown girl is that she is effortlessly cool, accidentally on purpose sloppy. Basic normcore-ish clothes, jeans, a white button-down, white tank top, sneakers, hair done up with a claw clip, and then she has a little bit of that early 2000s indie sleaze vibe. So the indie sleaze look is personified by, say, if you ever watched Gossip Girl, Jenny Humphrey. Incredibly smoky raccoon eyes, messy crinkled hair. She's also personified by Kesha, the music video TikTok. Horn cut off, denim shorts paired with fishnet stockings, some kind of high heel boot, a vintage band tee, also similarly disheveled man's tie. And then of course you've got that smoky eye, but it's kind of smudged, like your mascara is smudged. You've been all night partying and your night is basically captured with flash photography. Dancing, snap, flash photography. You look disheveled, but you look good. You're laying in a bathtub, hungover, snap. You look a mess, but also glamorous. So there's a little bit of that, because the downtown girl is distinguished from the uptown girl. The uptown girl is very put together, kind of on the prissy side. So she is best personified by Blair Waldorf in Gossip Girl. You know, you got your tights. I wouldn't say she wears like colorful tights right now, but she's definitely got got that old money vibe. You know, she may wear a tweed two-piece. She's definitely a girl with pearls. Note the Billy Joel song, Uptown Girl. Uptown Girl, I don't know how to buy her pearls. I don't know if that's the lyrics, but there was girl and pearls. That's all I remember. Uptown Girl. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna get to the bottom of what Billy Joel actually sang. Uptown Girl. Uptown Girl, she's been living in an uptown world. I bet she's never had a backstreet guy. What the hell is a backstreet guy? Like a Backstreet Boy? She's been living in her white bread world for as long as anyone with hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown man. I believe in the music video, Billy Joel, who is the downtown man, he is a mechanic. I guess it's a clash between blue collared and white collared. So from these lyrics by Sir Billy Joel, he's not even British. I don't even know why I knighted him. The Uptown Girl. She's a prissy girl. Where's the pearls part? Uptown Girl. You know I can't afford to buy her pearls, but maybe someday when my ship comes in, she understands what kind of guy I've been when his ship comes in. So is he a mechanic or is he a longshoreman? So this is a song about an uptown girl slumming with a downtown man, and Billy Joel is the downtown man. He's a mechanic, but then he also infers that he's a longshoreman. So that's the Uptown Girl. She's got pearl necklaces. She's got white stockings. She's got maybe a private school uniform if she goes to school. She's posh. But the Downtown Girl, she is effortlessly messy. She's basically like a starving artist, a small town girl that moved to New York City and now she's holed up in a one-bedroom apartment. She's making the most of her life. Right now, for this aesthetic, for the Gen Z bent of this aesthetic, flare leg jeans, a boyfriend hoodie with long sleeves that you pull over your hands. You have to have a vintage tee, a vintage graphic tee, a band tee, a messy updo held together by a claw clip, Doc Martens, but if you're wearing a mini skirt, okay, you would have some Mary Janes. And then these photos are always taken like a wide angle perspective. The camera is set down there. The model is always very tall with legs for days. You want a neutral color palette, moody neutral colors, veering toward the dark academia color palette, dark red Vixen nail polish, autumn fall aesthetic. But the number one component of being a downtown girl, headphones. The downtown girl is an audiophile. She is a lover of obscure, eccentric, indie music. You can see her whiling her days away in a record store. She maybe even works at a record store. She is basically John Cusack's character in High Fidelity, where she could list off all the top 10 artists of every decade. She definitely has a must listen to playlist. I kind of also want to say that the downtown girl is like the more grown-up version of the lo-fi girl. The lo-fi studying girl is the downtown girl. She knows her music, she knows her stuff. I don't know if she really knows her music or she's just pretending to know her music. Everywhere you go to class, you go on the subway, you go in a coffee shop, you have your headphones because, like, you know, you just can't be parted from your music. You're such a music lover that you are to the point every single hour of your day is in sync with a soundtrack that you put together on Spotify. The downtown girl has maybe like 20 playlists. Oh, she might even have a playlist for every season, a playlist for every mood and every season. She's that serious about it. So living in New York, she would probably thrift at L Train Vintage. And I only know that because I watch a heck ton of content about what people are wearing in New York. Your clothes are mostly thrifted because, again, the uptown girl buys her clothes, her designer items new. You don't care about designer items. You care about the authenticity of your clothes. You want like a mod dress from the 60s. Definitely you want something from the 70s. Your bell bottoms, your flare leg jeans are from the 70s and altered. You might have some patches on them that you put there yourself. You're a crafty person. I'm assuming that you have basic sewing knowledge. You are definitely a reader. One of the things I find very interesting when I watch apartment therapy, apartment tours, is that everyone living in these tiny spaces, in these tiny apartments, they could be living in an apartment the size of a closet. They always have room for books. The Downtown Girls apartment. It's a very small space, a studio apartment. Let's give her 400 square feet. She would have one wall that's exposed brick and very good lighting, by the way, because she's gotta take her photos for social media. She'll have a bunch of books. You would think she would have like the popular book, The Love Hypothesis, or something by Emily Henry. No. She would read This Little Life. She would read Circe. Okay, Greek mythology. 10 years ago, she would read John Green, but I don't think she would read John Green right now. She would read Colleen Hoover. I read this article calling Colleen Hoover the normcore of romance authors. I don't really know why she is the normcore of romance authors, so if you've read Colleen Hoover, tell me why. She would have in her possession It Ends With Us or Ugly Love. She also has a variety of classic literature, like some Shakespeare, Virginia Woolf. Oh yeah. She would read Mrs. Dalloway. She would try to collect all those Penguin classics. She would have a bookshelf, obviously, something that she found on the sidewalk when somebody moved, and then she would bring it home to her apartment with the help of some downtown boys or something, promising pizza and beer, because ultimately she's one of the guys. One of those not like other girls. She's like the cool girl that you could have a beer with and can go hang out in a record store. She's a Bella Swan. The Downtown Girl actually has a lot of Bella Swan's outfit characteristics. So if Bella had moved to New York City instead of moving to Forks, she would definitely be a downtown girl. In fact, music was a big proponent of Bella's enjoyment. She listened to Linkin Park on CD. The Downtown Girl definitely has Linkin Park on her playlist. She would probably thrift an old poster for an art museum exhibit opening. The 1992 exhibit of King Tut's tomb at the Guggenheim. A 1987 sailing race off the coast of Cape Hatteras. I'm just making this up. She would read her books or listen to her record or study off her fire escape. She's definitely got to have a fire escape. You got to have the fire escape visuals or you won't know that you're in New York City. She must also have is a ripstop nylon bag for when she goes grocery shopping at the local bodega. It has to be a bagu, okay? It has to be a bagu. She's a bagu girl. What would she eat? Okay, this is going to be deep. This is going to be deeper than we've ever realized. Tin fish date night. Tinned sardines, tinned oysters. That's popular amongst the Spaniards or the Portuguese. Very colorful tins. She would open them up for her dinner on Friday night, plate it out very aesthetically on a charcuterie board, a toasted baguette, smear it with ricotta cheese, balsamic vinegar infused cherry tomatoes. Okay, I get this. And then she would call this her girl dinner. She would listen to some 1960s French album, you know, the kind that goes boop, doop, 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 that she picked up at the record store. I've described her perfect night. I don't know if she has a boyfriend or a girlfriend. She may not. I see her as enjoying being single. She would definitely wear her headphones in the subway. I could see her now, big, baggy, comfy sweater, her bagu bag full of tangerines and tin fish, a book open, not a Kindle, not reading on her phone, but a physical book with all her markings and her annotations. On the subway, she would wear sunglasses. You don't want to touch anybody on the subway and you don't want to make eye contact. You don't need to live in New York to know that. You could live in any city to know that you don't want to make eye contact in public transportation. I made the mistake of making eye contact on a San Francisco streetcar. The results were not good because this guy, he caught my eye and I caught his eye. Our eyes Our eyes met. And then he decided to move and sit behind me, and he started cussing me out. He thought he was having an argument with me in his head. He called me the B word. He also called me the word that rhymes with runt. I don't know what I said to him in his head to deserve that name, but there we go. So this is what happens when you meet somebody's eye. The downtown girl, a romanticized version of what it is to live and be young and be cool and be effortlessly, accidentally, on purpose, chic in New York City. It's a aesthetic as old as time, but altered for the taste of the new generation. So what will she look like in the future? Here's a prediction that I know will be a fact. As we all crumble to dust, she will live on. Okay, that's enough. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, let's put a ring on it. Hit that subscribe button. Maybe one day I'll see you in New York City where I won't smile at you. It hurts my face to smile. I think somebody told me I needed to smile more, but then somebody told me, I think it was my mom, God, don't smile. So I don't know what to do with my face.